The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Good morning, Hoop Ballers, and welcome to the January 19th, Tuesday edition of Hoop Balls DFS Today. I am your host, Santino Cacone, and you can find me at Twitter, or on Twitter, at Santino Cacone, and I am joined by my good buddy, William Harris again. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great, Santino. Great to be back for another great slate of DFS talk. Even though it's only 2 games, I'm still happy to be here.
Yeah, just a two-gamer after a big MLK Day slate. So we just have a very light one today, as light as you can get without showdown slates. At least it's not a showdown. I just don't like those too much.
Yeah, they're interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, you can find Will over on Twitter at William is Bill. That's WILLIAM is Bill. I don't know if I did to spell that one out. Well, yeah, we're gonna get right into this very shortly. We had a couple good games tonight. I know Will wanted to say mention the Bucks Nets barn burner that we had there last night. Two teams that are likely to see each other in the Eastern Conference Championship went down to the last shot. There was no Kyrie, but that was a good one, man.
Yeah, that was a good one. You know, the Nets are looking good, although they're both 2 games with James Harden. Both the games came down to the wire. So, I mean, they're looking good, but they're still in tight games. So we'll see how that changes when Kyrie comes back. But that was a great game against Milwaukee.
Yeah, and they're still adjusting to each other. So
yeah.
It looks like they're so far on for DFS purposes, it looks like Harden and Durant haven't missed a beat and might have gotten better. But we'll see how it shakes out with Kyrie, because that's going to be interesting when Kyrie does come back for our DFS purposes. But yeah, before we jump into this quick 2-game slate here, I do want to shout out a couple of our presenting sponsors, and the first one is MyBookie. As long as you guys have been listening to this podcast, and every time I've been on, I keep telling you guys to bet with MyBookie. MyBookie's rep is rock solid, and they've got the best odds, contests, and promotions in the business. They're the only place I trust to handle my NBA-related bets. The one sportsbook guaranteed to give me the best lines for the NFL playoffs that are going on right as we speak. There's 3 games left, and I cannot wait to see couple of those games. If you know me and you know that I don't give my stamp of approval easily, to earn it, you've got to be the best at what you do. And MyBookie is the best sports book out there, period. It's simple, guys. Sign up, enter the promo code HOOPBALL, that's HOOPBALL, and get your deposit matched halfway up to $1,000. So head on over to MyBookie if you want to add a little excitement to the sports you love and the games you bet. Bet with the best, bet with MyBookie. I also want to throw out another presenting sponsor of ours, and we love these guys too. It is Manscaped. Manscaped is this product is brought to you by Manscaped, and it is the refined cologne. Who is the best in men's below the waist grooming? Manscaped just released this new cologne scent to help you feel good and smell good all over and at all times. Who knew smelling this good could feel this good too? Everyone knows that Manscaped has the perfect package 3.0. If you've been listening to this podcast, you've heard myself say it, Mike say it, Brenton say it, all of us say it. But for all of you, for all your below the waist grooming needs, they didn't stop there. They also have this grooming game with a new refined cologne signature scent by Manscaped. With the same signature scent that's in all Manscaped formulas, this cologne is the perfect complement to the collection. Light, approachable, and gentlemanly in all the right ways. Think of it as your wingman for the night to keep you fresh and ready for anything. And now you can use this in Manscaped Refined Cologne to complete your set and smell great anytime, anywhere. It's time to feel sexy, gentlemen. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code HoopBall20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the promo code HoopBall20. That's HOOPBALL20. So look good, smell good, feel good with Manscaped. And buddy, I'm ready to jump right into this quick 2-game slate, man. We have both of these games start at 9:00, so we don't have any late breaking news here or late night news that could shake up your lineup. We should have everything in before anything happens. And that's a good thing about this, that they're both starting at the same time. So the first game here, I hate that sometimes you get those 10 o'clock games where all of a sudden someone's out and you got to change your lineup. Don't have to do it this one, Will.
Yeah. I mean, it's not good for the viewers who, if you want to watch both games, but it's great for us on FanDuel and DraftKings, So we'll see. I mean, other than Al Horford, he's a big question mark in my opinion. So have you heard any news on him?
Yeah, so I believe they just ruled him out not too long ago, probably right as we were jumping on the podcast. But I'm pretty sure he's ruled out. Yeah, we're not exactly sure what the personal issue is. I don't believe it would be COVID because the rest of the team would be looking at health and safety protocols, and other people would probably be sitting if that was a scenario. No one on the Thunder has sat because of such things, so I don't believe it's that. It could be something like what happened to DeMar DeRozan. He wanted his father, and he left the team-induced kind of bubble and wanted to see. Went back home. So maybe it's something like that, or maybe I don't really know. We haven't gotten any information on that. I just don't believe it would be COVID because there would be more players in the protocol. That's, again, pure speculation. But good thing you mentioned that team because the Thunder at the Nuggets, this starts at 9 p.m., and this is the first game on the DraftKings slate. The spread for this one is 9.5 to the Thunder. The Nuggets are home favorites, and the over-under is 219. And on the injury report, now we have Al Horford as out for personal. Trevor Ariza is still not with the team, and Ty Jerome is out with an ankle sprain. And we don't have anything. On the Nuggets, we also have Michael Porter Jr. and Greg Whittington. Michael Porter Jr., they're hoping to have him back by Friday, so we'll see what happens there. But let's start with the Thunder team, man. We have Shai at 87, and then we have Baisley, Dort. We have Roby at pretty good 4,100. Who are you looking at on this team? And having the 2-game slate, we can honestly put 4 people on one team if it came down to that because there's only 4 teams to choose from.
Yeah, well, OKC, I mean, it's a lot of guys that are hit or miss, especially, I mean, Shai, for the most part, he's going to have a great game, but I mean, he's still even hit or miss. I mean, his last game, he got 58. DraftKings points, but the game before that he had 20. Game before that 33. Game before that 55. So he's kind of up and down for that price. So when you're looking at a point guard, you can take a risk on going for a cheaper option like George Hill, or if you want to take the risk and go with Shai, you can do that. Baisley is the same way. He goes up and down. This whole team is full of guys that go up and down. The main person I like on OKC is Isaiah Roby, because when Horford is out, he plays big minutes and he can be very productive for a cheap price of 4,100. Other than that, you're going to be taking a risk for the most part. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a pretty decent matchup for them, but I like Shai in it for 87. I'm trying to get as many big guys as I can, and I believe when you're looking at it, and especially in this 2-game slate, the Thunder is the team that I can attack for a lot of value. And like you said, they're very hit or miss. So it depends on which one you're feeling that night. But we should have a lot of value here. If you look at the Nuggets, they don't have much value. New Orleans might have some. I think Lonzo Ball should probably be out again. They're hoping he practices tomorrow, so he shouldn't be playing. So we have that. There's really no big value guys, nobody under 5K on Utah that you can feel comfortable with. Maybe one, but there's just nobody really in the rotation outside favors under 5K in Utah. So to me, the value guys are going to be here in OKC. And like you said, they're very hit or miss. So it depends. But I think Isaiah Roby can be locked in all lineups at 4,100. Yeah. We're not going to find someone that cheap for that is going to. I mean, George Hill's 43. He's starting, but he's George Hill. He's just a veteran of this team right now. You can't expect a higher ceiling than what you can with Roby, especially with that Horford. So I know he's going to be locked in. I really like Shai. I think this is a good matchup for him. You can if you're look in there, you can look at Baisley to me. You can look at Dort, maybe Hill, Diallo. All these guys are going to get a little bit extra. Another guy I really like here. I won't. I'm not going to take all those guys, but I would give one or two of them a look. But I do like Kenrick Williams. He played 27 minutes in the last game. He's starting to get more into the rotation, and especially without Horford, they need more size there, and they need other people to step up. And I think at 3,600, he's probably the only guy. He's one of the few guys I mentioned favorites that are under 4K that I'm going to be targeting. I'm going to have a more balanced lineup in this thing, but I do like Roby and Williams for their extreme value here.
And that's the thing with Williams, before he wasn't getting as many minutes. So that was being productive for Diallo, Dort, and Baisley. Now they're mixing in Williams, and so they're all their, top level potential is coming down a little bit. So if you're going to go with the OKC guys, like I said, we love Roby, but you probably wouldn't want Baisley and Dort and Diallo. If at the most pick two of those three, but you probably, if you can get away with just getting one of those, go with the one that you feel would be the best for you. I'm liking Dort and I like Baisley, but you just got to go with the one that you feel is best. I wouldn't go with both though.
Yeah, I would pick one of those. I told you I might fall on 4 OKC guys. Not that I love it, but it's just more value, and I probably go with one of Dort, Baisley, or Hill, depending on my roster construction. Because I know I really want Roby in there at 4,100. Probably going to fall on Williams at 3,600, just because I know there's not many options. There's maybe 3 tops, but 2 that you can feel okay with under 4K. And then I like Shea in this, so I know I'll have those guys, and I'll probably pick one of the Hill, the Dort, the Baisley. But dollar for dollar, I think Dort matches up pretty well comparatively of the other 2 guys.
I mean, for a long shot, Theo Maledon, he's been playing a few extra minutes, been playing pretty good. If this is a blowout, he could get more minutes. Same for, Alexei Pokachevsky. Is their first round pick,
Pokemon.
Very talented rookie. Last game he only got 12 minutes, but the game before he got 21 and produced 25 DraftKings points. So if this is a blowout, I can see them giving him more minutes, especially with Horford out. So, I mean, he could be a sneaky pick too.
Yeah.
Because they're going to need to develop him.
If you expect it to be a blowout, then they're probably going to play their young guys more. That's just what you would assume. To me, I think the Thunder have been a bigger spread than normal all year, but they're a really competitive team. Outside of playing the Lakers, they've been a very, very competitive team for the most part. So I think as they start gelling together, I don't think it's, in my book, I don't think it's going to be that big of a blowout. But yeah, if that's the game script that you like, then you could target some of these younger guys as well because they're going to get more experience and more playing time in this one. How about, man, let's flip on over to the Nuggets side of the ball. I'll start things off with the big guy real quick, Nikola Jokic. Jokic, the Joker, he's going to be in my lineup. I don't care if he's 1,100 on a 2-game slate. I want as many points as possible. Whether you think this is going to be a blowout or not, he's going to get his. He's going to be going against Isaiah Roby, and if they don't start Isaiah Roby, Mike Muscala, if they don't start, there's no one on this team that's going to give this guy any type of trouble. Even I just think 50 points the floor at the very least, even if he plays 28 minutes, he's a smash mouth spot for him, and I'm going to be paying up for him in this one. How about yourself, man?
Yeah, definitely, and that's the reason why I think it could be a blowout because they really need Horford for this game. I mean, even Horford can't stop Jokic, but he's better than the alternative of Roby and toothpick Pokachevsky. So you have to play Jokic. And then once again, Murray, sometimes he balls out, sometimes he doesn't. But his last 2 games have been very productive. So you could definitely go with, whoever you like better between Shea and Jamal Murray could work. Will Barton's been playing pretty good lately. The Nuggets have a lot of talent. So, I mean, even with their power forwards, you have Millsap and JaMychal Green, that they're pretty much too deep at every position. So, you have to go with your value of what you think is the best. But a sneaky guy like is PJ Dozier. He's been playing in the mid-range, 20 minutes a game. Last game, 28 minutes. Had almost 28 DraftKings points. So he's a sneaky player. Only at 3,900, and love Jokic. Other than that, I mean, the whole team is going to be productive for the most part.
Yeah, and I like the PJ Dozier call at 3,900, especially if you think this game's going to be lopsided, then he's going to get some extra run there. So I like him as well. He's been playing pretty well. He's been taking some minutes from Monte Morris, taking some minutes from Gary Harris, taking a lot of the minutes from their Facundo Campazzo guy, their international guy there. So I like him there. I think JaMychal Green might play a solid amount of minutes in this one, even if it turns ugly. They're not going to be extending Paul Millsap in that case, so I don't mind looking at him at 46. And it's you mentioned Jamal Murray. I mean, he's a solid option in this one as well. Good matchup for him. But I'm looking at Will Barton and seeing 5,700 and asking myself, when is he going to bring it? The two games prior to the Jazz game, he played in 32 and 38 minutes. He shot 29 total shots, and he did pretty well. He had a total of over 68 DraftKings points, but outside of that, he's really only had one other game over 30 DraftKings points on the season. So it's not it's very hard to totally count on this guy, but 5,700 if he's not a bad play for me in this matchup, I think it's pretty good for him. Again, Michael Porter Jr. is not going to be there, and we're not going to be able to. We need more people in the 5K range or so. So I wouldn't mind looking at him, but I do like PJ Dozier in this one as well to balance out your lineups and get some people there and get someone at shooting guard who's not super expensive like in the next game.
Yeah, and I mean, Barton, with Michael Porter Jr. out, we really would have hoped to see Barton explode more, show more, be more aggressive, but he's pretty much playing the same or less than, without Porter Jr. there. So it's a big risk at 5,700. You can go with Dort at 51 or Diallo at 4,700 and probably get the same level of production. The only person I don't really like for the most part is Gary Harris. I mean, he's just too low level right now in fantasy for me. He can just disappear, and I don't want that. And his ceiling is not as high. So he's the only one that I would really be scared off about probably.
Yeah, so I'm not going to look at Harris. I would look at Dozier before Morris slightly. I'm not going to. Will Barton, I just mentioned him how I might have a couple shares of him, but at the same time, if my star scrubs lineup can't fit him, I'm perfectly fine leaving him on the bench just because he hasn't shown too much this year as of now. And he might still be working himself back from that injury that he didn't play in the bubble with, and he was limited in coming up into the season. All right, man. Right before we jump on to this last one, I do want to quickly pause the show, and it's for an announcement. It's a fun one also. It's free stuff, guys. Everyone loves free stuff. What's that stuff, you ask? The Bruise Letter is back. Oh, yes. Back for the entire 2020-2021 NBA season. Our founder, Aaron Bruski, is writing an email newsletter filled with his most intimate fantasy nuggets. It's exclusive content that you cannot find anywhere else. It's not on the website, not on any podcast, not on any social media. It's only in the email newsletter, and you can sign up to get it for free. Just go to bit.ly/bruiseletter2021 and sign up in 10 seconds. Again, the site is bit.ly/bruiseletter2021, and Aaron Bruski straight to your inbox. Enjoy. I also want to tell people about the Fantasy Pass. So we know that the fantasy draft season is over and done with. Hopefully you Brewski 150'd your way to a hell of a team, but the season has just begun. We're only in week 5 right now. The Fantasy Pass is still the best deal in the industry at just $4.99 per month. And now that we're into the regular season, there's zero commitment. Sign up for 1 month for $5. If you don't like it, you can cancel, but we know you'll love it. But it's always a nice option to have. The Fantasy Pass has everything you'll need to dominate all year. Updated projections, new fantasy appraiser tools, schedule and streaming charts, pickups, drops, etc. And our newest and coolest feature of them all, the hoop ball. The hoop ball. I can't even say it, hoop ball right. Jeez. I'm repping hoop ball, whatever I just called it, very well in this one. I feel like Dr. Seuss with the hoop ball. The hoop ball Discord server, where you can all hang out with hoop ball pros around the clock and get one-on-one help with your team. It's honestly fantastic. I'm in there all the time. Love it. I would say don't put all your notifications on. Try and silence them if you don't like getting a ton of notifications because it's always popping in there. But please do check it out. Head to hoopball-.com and click on the Fantasy Pass ad just below the main media wall. And if DFS is just your thing, you don't play season long, you don't do all that stuff, we have a DFS pass for a measly $199 a month, 8 quarters, and you got DFS pass for the month. Hopefully we will win you more money than that on your first night, and then you can pay for the season with a couple more quarters. But let's jump on to the second game, man. Now we can do that one. We have the New Orleans Pelicans at the Utah Jazz. This also starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. On the Pelican side, we have Lonzo Ball as questionable. I think he's closer to out than he is to playing, but they have him on the official injury report listed as questionable. And we have Derek Favors listed as probable. They keep doing that. He keeps playing. We have Joe Ingles listed as questionable. He's truly questionable to me. And Elijah Hughes, who's not part of this rotation, is out. On the spread side, we have a 220 game total, and we have the Jazz favored at home by 6 points. They've been playing pretty well. Let's start with the New Orleans Pelicans, man, and we have some two top dogs in this one with Brandon Ingram at 9,100, Zion Williamson at 79. A questionable Lonzo Ball. I personally don't think he's going to suit it up yet, but he's at 63. And then we have some solid value here. But who on this team are you looking at in this sort of game environment with the Jazz, and where you're going with them?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, immediately, I love Brandon Ingram, big fan. He just stands out. But at 9,100, that's a little bit high when you can get probably the same value from Zion at 7,900. I think you have to lock in Zion for New Orleans on this team. He's been balling out of control, like averaging a little over 40 fan points his last week of play. So that's a great price. I mean, he could easily be priced at 9,100, but he's only at 7,900. And I love Nickeil Walker-Alexander. He's been playing better and getting more minutes with Lonzo out. He's still not a guarantee, but he's getting the minutes, so he can put up some points for you. And JJ Redick's been playing better too. So with Lonzo out, so a couple of guys are getting better value, and at JJ Redick's only at 4,000. Other than that, it's not too many players to choose from, but you got some good options. I'm sure you're going to say something about Josh Hart, but I don't trust it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm close to with you. If I can get Brandon Ingram in my lineup with that extra 1,200, I would love to, and I prefer him to Zion. But that extra 12 might be hard. Yeah, in this particular matchup with Rudy Gobert just planted it in the paint and Steven Adams not taking him out of the paint, I would prefer Brandon Ingram in this one. But I can see the 1,200 possibly being the difference. And if it doesn't get me the people that I want around him, then I don't mind going to Zion. But I would try and do as much as I can to get Ingram in there personally on my side of it. But I know things might happen and something might change there. As far as that, if Lonzo Ball plays, it puts a little bit of dent into the Bledsoes and the Alexander Walkers, the Josh Harts, the JJ Redicks. I won't play any of these guys if Lonzo Ball plays, Lonzo included. I'm just not. I wouldn't be huge. I don't think he would be 100%. So 63 would be hard for me to play him. If Lonzo sits, you mentioned Walker. I like Bledsoe a little bit more, and just seeing that the only difference is $600. I would rather just pay up to get Bledsoe in this one. Walker had a monster game a couple games ago, but he is very, very streaky, and if he's not hitting his shots, he doesn't do as much away from that to where I can trust him. But he can always blow up anytime he's hot because he just continues to shoot and shoot and shoot. He's those microwave type of guys that if he's popping, he's gonna blow up. But if he's not, he doesn't do too much else outside of that. Kind of like a Terrence Ross type.
Whoa! I gotta stop you on that. You saying Eric Bledsoe? Eric Bledsoe is the trusty one over Nickeil Walker-Alexander?
Yeah, I would trust Bledsoe more for 600. I think it's all for me.
Well, his Bledsoe's last 4 games, DraftKings points, 25, 22, 12, and 32. And that 32 DraftKings points came when he scored 21 actual NBA points. So I think his ceiling is pretty low. At the most, he'll probably get you around 20 points. When you got Nickeil Walker-Alexander, his ceiling is a lot higher. What do you think?
Well, the one that he put up 12 against the Lakers, they not only got blown out, but he was also they didn't think he was going to play in that one. He suited up late and he didn't start because he was he was limited. So I think after a couple games, after seeing him play 30 minutes against the Kings in the last one, for that. Well, that's hoping that Lonzo Ball's out. But outside of that, I do think JJ Redick's a quality play at 4,000. He doesn't have the ceiling that he used to have, but he's been playing a lot better the last 4 games, averaging over 20 points each, which is hitting value, and that's what you'd want on a slate like this. Getting a bunch of big guys, you just want people hit value or dollar for dollar, whatever you can get. But I wouldn't play Josh Hart. I know you mentioned him in this particular matchup. I think there's a lot of people that are grabbing a lot of rebounds, and that's pretty much what Josh Hart does. So I'm going to stay away from him in this particular matchup. But yeah, let's jump on over to the last team of the night in the Utah Jazz. And on the Jazz side, I'll jump in it. We have Donovan Mitchell at 8,200. We have Rudy Gobert at 7,600. And then we have Mike Conley at 68 and a couple other people over here. To me, this one's tough. I see Donovan Mitchell. We just mentioned Zion and Brandon Ingram and Shea. I would rather play Shea and I would rather play Ingram for the little bit of a price increase there, and possibly want to play Zion slightly more too, at a little bit of underneath there. So that's that. I'm not really going to Mitchell here. He'd be the one stud that I don't attack. And Rudy Gobert, him and Steven Adams are just going to be fighting down low all night. It's not a particular matchup that I want to invest in at 7,600 when I see Jokic and a couple other people slightly more expensive, or I'll go down. I know he's going to grab his rebounds and do his thing anyway, but I'm never really like to gravitate towards Rudy Gobert. And in this matchup, I'm probably not going to do it as well. Mike Conley would be I don't know why. I know Jordan Clarkson's playing better. I guess I shouldn't say I don't know why, but he's only 300 less than Mike Conley. I'd rather play Mike Conley every time I can get that, whether it's a Jordan Clarkson blow-up game or not. I just think that's crazy that they're only $300 difference. And I mentioned Bledsoe. I don't mind at 6,000. If I can pay up for 68, I'd rather take Mike Conley on that. And Conley would be my preferred play on this team out of everybody. And I don't really want to play a Bogdanovich or a Royce O'Neal, Derek Favors, even though it's kind of quote-unquote revenge game. I don't really want to play anybody else there. Hoping for Ingles not to play, and I like Conley the most on this team.
Definitely. Man? All good points. I do disagree with you, though, about Donovan Mitchell. I trust Donovan Mitchell more than I would trust Shea in this game, because Donovan Mitchell's been balling out, pretty much all year. So he's pretty much guaranteed to get you 40 fantasy points. But Shea, I don't trust as much as Donovan. And, especially the way who's out for Utah? Ingles. Yeah. With Ingles out, I think Donovan Mitchell is going to continue to, have to feel like the pressure is on him to put up more points. So if Ingles plays, you can possibly shy away a little bit. But I like Mitchell as a safe bet at 8,200 in this game. I love Rudy Gobert as a player, especially a fantasy player, but I cannot pay 7,600 for him, especially when you have Jokic. I mean, it's just Jokic is worth the extra 4,000, almost 4,000. And after last season with Mike Conley, when you see his name on the list, you normally just skip by it because you're like, I don't want no parts of that, But this year, Mike Conley has been playing really well.
He looks like Mike Conley again.
He looks like Mike Conley. He's fitting in. It took him a year, I guess. And I totally agree with your point over trusting him for the $800 more than Bledsoe, and definitely over Clarkson, because Clarkson in his past, in his history, He's been very streaky. This year he has been pretty consistent, so you can't take that away from him. If you need $300, pick Clarkson, but I would rather have Conley over him also. So really, I would only even consider is Mitchell, possibly Conley. That's it, really. I mean, if you have to get Clarkson, you can get Clarkson because he has been having a pretty good year, but I would take Conley over Clarkson.
In a dollar for dollar scenario, I think I like Mitchell a little bit better than Gobert. Also, if you can pay that $600, the only thing that is working in Gobert's favor, even though we both don't like him, is that there's not many center 4-game slate. Obviously, there's not many center options, and if you're gonna try and not play Jokic and fade him somehow, then you have Adams, Gobert. Zion is eligible. You don't really have many options out there. Maybe you'll throw Roby at your center, but that's just if you're getting real cute about it, I think, if you're trying to fade Jokic.
Yeah. And I mean, weird stuff happens in DraftKings. So normally, it's like Jokic is the lock, and then, you set your lineup, and then someone else just goes off. So if you do want to take that risk, you can try Gobert, you can try Roby. But it's really hard to pass up on Jokic at 11,000 because with that guaranteed, I mean, I don't remember the last time he hasn't been under 43 points all year. And for the most part, he's in the 60s or 70s. So Jokic is the lock for me.
So if you have a gut feeling, go with it. I just know I won't be doing that one. I don't think we'll be doing that one, but if you're one of those bold people out there want to shy away from the field, as they say, you can try that one. But I think we
need to make a bet. Okay.
I was about to say I think we have a bet. Yeah. Shea versus Mitchell. Shea versus Spiders.
Yes.
Right,
so
man.
We got to see who has a better DraftKings game, Shea versus Mitchell, and we'll have to come up with, the loser does something on Twitter or something.
All right, I like it. We'll do that behind the scenes, and I feel like everybody keeps making bets against me, and I knew you were going to say something there, and I already had it in my head right after I said it. But I like
Shea
it.
is your guy. Shea/Shy is your guy. So
I'm not shying away from him in this one. That's why I like to call him Shy more than Shea, just because you can use a lot more puns. That's pretty much it. He's more punny in that way, and I prefer that. But man, we hit these 2 games. Before we head on out of here, is there anything you wanna leave the viewers with? Is there anybody that you want to say is your favorite play of the night? Whether it's you could cop out and say Jokic, or if there's someone else you like, whether it's dollar for dollar, money wise, is there anything you want to say on that one?
Well, yeah, like we said, with Horford out, I love Roby. You get him in at power forward. I love JaMychal Green. I don't think you're going to be able to start him in this slate, though. And Donovan Mitchell, that's my guy. I love Zion, too, at 7,900. So try to get him in at power forward. But for the most part, you're going to go with your studs, and it's only 2 games. So you get as many studs as you can in there. And, you pretty much can't go wrong. You just got to roll the dice and see what happens.
Yep, you got to. And I did say pick one of your favorite play of the night. He gave you 16 of them. If anybody's counting, Will doesn't know what one is, but you stole the guy I would have said. I think copping out with Jokic is easy, and going with the easy value of Roby was easy too. And I was going to steal that, but I guess I'm going to have to go with a harder one and go with Kenrich Williams, the cheapest guy that I'm looking at 3,600. If we're going with the stars and scrubs build, we're going to have a couple guys around 4K or under. We mentioned Roby, Dozier, and Kenrich as our favorites. And I'm going to go with Kenrich because he's the cheapest of them. I think if he sees another 20 to 25 minutes, that's very reasonable for him to do that. And I think he can bring you back another 20 or so DraftKings points in this one at pretty much bare minimum, especially on a 2-game slate. So I'll go with him, and we're going with 2 OKC guys. Who are kind of okay, and we'll see how they finish.
So you know what that means, right? That means that Bowl is gonna go off for like a triple double and be the MVP of the day at 3,000.
I almost mentioned him earlier and said, if you guys think this is going to be a blowout, maybe look at Bowl, but I just can't do that in good faith. But you probably will watch. Someone's gonna have Bowl, and he's just gonna get the random start again and then go off.
Yeah, Jokic will go out. Now, I'm not even gonna go there. No. Anyway.
We gotta get out of here before you kill everybody's trust.
Right.
All right, man. Go follow. If you're listening, give us a rate review. Saw some stuff out there trying to correct the names and everybody else. But give us a rate and review. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Go follow us on Twitter. All of our Hoopball accounts. Go follow Will on Twitter. His Twitter name is @WilliamIsBill. That's WILLIAMISBILL. You can follow me on Twitter @Santino Caccone. That's SANTINO CACCONE. And if you guys have any interest in joining the DFS Hoopball DFS team, give us a shout out on Twitter. Myself, Mike, Dan, whoever you can, or whether it's Twitter, email. You might not have our email, so give us a shout out on Twitter. Let us know if you have any interest. We'll let you know what's available, because we are looking for more help here, and we siphoned through a couple people that you'll be listening to very shortly and reading already. Will's one of them. He was already part of the team, but I forced him over here because I kind of like him. But I was going to say I don't usually tell him that, but he just heard it on air.
On air. Wow, appreciate that.
I'll fix that in editing before I send it.
Right.
But if you guys have any interest, definitely give us a shout out, and we'll see what we can do and let you know what's available. But I think that was a good show. We did this one pretty quickly, 2 games. We had had some filler in there. Will doesn't stop talking, and neither do I. But hopefully we can enjoy you. And tomorrow, Will's going to be on the Discord answering your guys' questions. I'll be in the background if anybody needs it. But 2-game slate. You might be getting who do you like better? I'm trying to think of 2 bad players right now. Who do you like better, Jarrell Brantley or Shaq Harrison?
Oh God, you went way deep.
I was going real deep. But it's going to be a fun one, and we'll catch you guys again tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Keith should be making his podcast debut with Mike tomorrow, and that's going to be a big slate. So if you guys take this one easy on a 2-gamer, you're going to have a lot of games in the Tuesday or the Wednesday slate. I'm getting all my days mixed up. In 2 days from now, you'll have a big slate. But we'll catch you guys again tomorrow, and have a good night.
All right. Thanks, guys.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.